Welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. I'm your host. Join us every Thursday at 4 p.m. for another breakthrough conversation. Be a guest on our show, 216-571-2235. Well, what's going on with Lady D today? And I'm your host, Lady D. We are so honored. We have a special guest in the house, and I am thrilled to have Ismail Douglas, a veteran, educator, community advocate, recently retired from Kenneth W. Clinic Boys Leadership Academy. Ismail has dedicated over 35 years to empowering our youth. He is also a martial art instructor and passionate musician who believes in music is universal power. Join us as we explore Ismail's inspiring journey. Welcome, Ismail. How you doing,
Thank
Mr.
you, Lady
Douglas?
D. It's an honor to be here.
I am
Thank
so
you.
happy to have you.
I'm honored to be here.
Okay. So you are just the man of inspiration, motivation, peace, love, and tranquility. So I want you to tell our listeners a little something about you.
Okay. Well, I'm the seventh child of 8 children, and my parents, unfortunately, are both deceased.
Okay.
But I grew up in a household where the music was always being played.
Okay.
All types of music: jazz, blues, R&B, gospel, and that's how I got my exposure to the music, and I became passionate about it. And then I read a lot about history, so I'm an avid reader, and I just love learning. I'm a lifetime learner.
Yes.
So I've been blessed to travel in different places like Turkey, the DR, Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Met people from all over the world, performed with different musicians, master musicians from around the world.
Okay.
So I've learned a lot from them as well in terms of how to take the music to another level in terms of expressing the power of music. So I'm very passionate about that.
Awesome, because music is a wonderful language.
It's a universal language.
It's a universal language. It's just like art.
Yes.
It goes all over, and it makes you feel good, and it has memories, and it's just so tranquil.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, so how did you start playing music?
So my brother worked for the illuminating company,
Okay.
and he brought home a guitar. And I don't play guitar. So my older brother, he took it and started playing.
Okay.
But what's interesting about him, he played right and left-handed. So some songs he could play at the right side,
Okay.
and then he would flip the guitar over and play the left side. I was like, this is amazing. And I was just impressed by his ability to play the guitar. He's no longer living.
Okay.
But he was one of my first who I looked at in terms of, I want to learn that instrument. So, and then I started practicing. So I started listening to people like Jimi Hendrix. And then eventually I started listening to a lot of jazz like Wes Montgomery, Kenny Burrell.
Right.
So those are people who influenced my style of playing.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I know that you, first of all, let me ask you, how many instruments do you play? Because I see we have this wonderful instrument here in the studio that we are going to talk about.
Yes.
So how many instruments?
5.
5.
The guitar, 1 from Turkey, and 2 from Brazil, and of course the guitar.
So when you say
the chord.
from Brazil and Turkey, those instruments were made there and you brought them home? Or?
Well, the one from Turkey, when I was there, they gave me one as a gift, but it was like an amateur.
Okay.
We call it a jura.
Okay.
And so when I got back, I started listening to a lot of Turkish music. So I had friends in Turkey, so they sent me a professional jura. Now the capoeira, we have an instrument called the berimbau, which is a one-string instrument attached to a gourd. So I play that, and that's a part of the music that is used with capoeira, the African Brazilian martial arts.
Okay.
And I play with the cavaquinho. I'm kind of like a beginner at the cavaquinho. It's a small guitar, has 4 strings on it. So they use it in samba music and a lot of popular Brazilian music.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then of course the chorus from Mali, from Africa.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about learning and becoming very exceptional in terms of playing the chorus. It has 21 strings.
Okay. And what else? It's made out of cowhide?
Yes, and then the strings are actually the fishing rod strings.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So whoever came up with it was just a genius.
Yeah, because it sounds when you play it, it's like listening to a harp.
Yes.
And I love that.
So you play it with the index finger and the thumb.
Only 2 fingers?
Only 4 actually, the 2 on your right, the one on your right and one on your left.
Okay.
So those are the only things that you use is the index finger and the thumb.
Really?
So you have to play on one side, what we say the bass lines or the rhythm,
Yes.
and then the melody line is played on the right side if you're right-handed, and then you do the improvisation with the right on the right side as well.
That is truly amazing. I am going to ask because I'm so excited about this, and I have found through you that this has been like one of my favorite instruments to listen to the music. Would you mind giving our audience a little taste of what that sounds like?
Sure.
Awesome. Awesome. That was truly beautiful. I really enjoyed that. Now,
Thank
that
you.
was just a little taste.
Taste.
You really have to come out and hear him play. Now, I understand that you play with several bands.
One is called Global Connection, so we play music from around the world. There's 6 people in the band, and we've been playing together for a number of years.
Okay.
And I play with another band. It's called Amani Strings. Amani, which means peace in Swahili.
Okay.
And I'm playing with a cellist who's just an amazing, gifted person.
Wow.
So that music is a little different because some of the things that we do, I really want to promote the idea of relaxation, peace, and contemplative music that we play in terms of Amani Strings.
Wonderful.
So with both bands, most of the materials are original music. So I don't do a lot of cover songs. I stopped wanting to do that because
Okay.
I wanted my creative process to come out, and people need to listen to what I need to vocalize in terms of the music.
I see. So are you writing? Do you write your music or the notes? It's like I know when you play piano, you write out the notes. Do you have to do the same?
Not with the
this?
core because in terms of traditional music, they didn't write it out. You learned from the master teacher,
Okay.
and then you played the music, whether you had to do a public performance or a private performance, and you had to learn the language of the music. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
So, of course, in Western music, they're writing it. Now, I did see that people are trying to do the notation with certain, like the djembe drum,
Okay.
and writing it out. But a lot of it's the feeling of what you have that comes from your spirit,
Okay.
right? You can read something on paper, that's fine.
Right.
But how do you vocalize? How do you express the music without the paper? It comes from within. So even with Global Connections, I'll bring the music,
Okay.
and I'll show, we have a guitar player, I'll show him the chords,
Okay.
and then people make their contributions to the music. I'm not the only one who does it in terms of putting the music together. It's a unified effort, it's a collective. because they have to bring their input into the music as well. Everybody has something to say.
So everybody is expressing what they feel when you're playing different instruments.
Yes, but it has to be harmony, right? It has
Okay.
to be one voice, right?
Right.
It's like an orchestra. People play different instruments, but you have to have a unified sound, or you'll be making noise.
Okay.
You want to make music.
Right, right.
So that's the perspective I have about it, is that everybody in the world we all play an instrument. Our life is an instrument, right?
Yes, yes.
And then when it's out of tune, you know when it's out of tune.
Exactly.
The question is, how can we bring it back to what it's harmony, right? And it's beautiful, you know. And that's where I see the music is life. Music is life.
Well, speaking of life, you also are an instructor. You're a Tai Chi instructor, and I've had the honor of being in your class and taking some of those classes.
Yes.
Let's talk about that and the importance of learning how to just go with the flow.
Yeah, so Tai Chi is a very ancient art form out of China. And one of the things is the basis is martial arts. But most people are learning for the health benefits of it. There's a lot of health benefits in terms of helping to relax the body. Because as we know, when the body is stressed, the immune system gets weakened, right? It creates a lot of health issues that can really affect how we live. So Tai Chi, one thing is to get us to be relaxed. And the most difficult thing about Tai Chi is to be consistent with it. It takes time, right? To be patient with oneself. Like one master said, it took him 10 years to learn how to use the energy in his body, and another 30 years on how to really use it and implement it in his life. That's a 40-year investment. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to go through that process,
Right.
but one of the things that I always tell people who are learning Tai Chi, you have to be patient with yourself, because you're really learning who you are and how your body is moving. You learn things about what's your muscles, your organs that we forget about. So there's specific things we do to talk about in terms of dealing with healing of the kidneys, paying attention to the kidneys, the liver, the spleen, those organs that we tend to forget, but they're with us 24/7.
Right.
And the body is always tell young people that you only got one body. You can't go in the closet like you change clothes and change your body. You have
Right.
to take care of it. It's a gift.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So the Tai Chi, again, is one way of honoring that body, but also health maintenance and wellness you can get from Tai Chi.
Yeah, I've learned some things from class, and it is very stimulating, and it does make a difference when you can first get up and get your body aligned and certain things to get the blood flowing versus just jumping out the bed and rushing to start a day.
Getting the cell phone and checking your emails and stuff like that, right?
Right, right. We have to learn what's important.
Yes.
And so not only physically taking care of the body, but spiritually too.
Yeah. I think for me is to keep in mind the body is a gift, and we want to honor that gift.
Yes.
And the way we do that is by doing things that can keep it healthy, right? Even our thoughts in Tai Chi, we say wherever the mind goes, the energy will follow.
Right.
So when we thinking negative all the time, that negative energy will come with us. So we thinking positive, that positive energy will come with us. And as always, who's in your apartment, your mental apartment?
Right.
Sometimes we have to evict certain people that affects our mental state, So try to have the type of thoughts that can really nurture a healthy way of living and a healthy perspective about life.
Yes.
But it has to be how we see ourselves.
Now there is something else that you also teach too. Come on, give me
It's
that
a
fancy
capoeira.
name. Capoeira. Now, what is capoeira?
So capoeira, again, is an African-Brazilian martial arts
Okay.
that was brought to Brazil during the slave era. And they practiced capoeira in a way of a dance because they were not allowed to practice the martial arts. So they hid the martial arts in the movements.
Really?
Yes, this is fascinating. And then they used the music. And there's a conversation with the music and the people, how they move in capoeira. So it's very good. And it's a holistic approach, in my opinion, holistic approach to wellness.
Okay.
Because in capoeira, you have to create things in the moment with the movements. And it's two people who are playing, which we say they're having a conversation. And if somebody throws a kick, I need to know how to move, what we call esquiva, move out of the kick. Not the person is trying to intentionally kick me,
Right.
but you have to be observant in life. It teaches you how to watch your surroundings
Right.
and how to learn the power of your body through movement. We are just an amazing people, in terms of what we've been blessed to have with the body. We just got to take time and investigate what the body is all about. So capoeira is one way of doing that.
When you were a teacher over at Clement, were you teaching the young men
Oh yeah,
this
capoeira and Tai Chi,
capoeira and
because
Tai
it's about
Chi?
discipline, right?
Yes.
And the thing about our young people, they have to learn discipline. Because when you discipline, you can navigate in life a little differently than those who are not disciplined. You're very focused, you're intentional about what you need to make happen. And they love the Tai Chi and they really like capoeira because they like doing cartwheels and flips. So that's a part of the capoeira, is the flipping part, and similar to some move like you see in breakdancing. You see in
Okay.
capoeira.
Okay.
So when you see capoeira, a lot of people say, "Oh, those moves remind me of breakdancing."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very, very interesting approach to how the body moves and how you can make things happen when you think about it. But the thing about capoeira is about improvisation. When I'm playing, I can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this move." The body just naturally moves.
So would you say by keeping our body in movement and flow, along with the spirituality and the positiveness thinking, gives you a better opportunity of living a longer, healthier life?
Yeah, only God knows how long we're gonna be here, but that's the
Right.
plan. Is we know that there's a book and it's written about the blue zone. So what this author did, he went around and looked at why people live so long in certain places.
Okay.
So he found some similarities. One was attitude about life.
Right.
They looked at life in a more optimistic way. It was their diet, and they stayed busy because we say in Tai Chi, if you don't move the body, it's like the hinges of a door, it becomes rusty. So you have to move the body, and the body was made to move.
Yes.
So we know that there's no guarantees in life, but you want to have some maintenance. Like when your car, right? Every so many miles, you go what? Get an oil
Get
change.
an oil change. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we got to remember our body is like that. We got to pay attention to it. And what are the things that we need to do it? What may work for me may not work for you. We have
Right.
to find out what works for you.
Right.
But be consistent. I used to use this joke at New Year's, right? Everybody goes to the gym the first year.
Yeah.
And you got all these great plans, A month later,
It's
the extra
all
equipment is in the corner. I might go to the gym next week. Let me think about it. It's about being consistent, but not try to do so much.
Yeah.
I think what people do is they try to do too much and they get tired. They get stressed, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Just do little stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just take your time.
Yeah,
That's what
it's,
Tai
a,
Chi
it's a
about.
process.
Yeah.
Life is a process, and you just have to know your limits.
Yes.
But also it's because it's a practice. And sometimes you fall off, but you gotta know that you can get back on and pick back up, and know that it's okay.
And that's why it's important to surround yourself with people
Yeah.
who have the same mission.
Talk about the discipline.
So
Explain the differences in self-discipline.
So for me, and I just speak personally for me, is that every day I have a plan to do something that contributes to my health and my spiritual well-being.
Okay.
Right? And I try to be consistent every day doing something. And I never go a day without working out. I exercise every day. I do the meditation, of course, the prayers, but everything is built into my regimen of my life. Right. And what I've seen is when I'm consistent like that,
Right.
even when tough time comes, I can have a way of navigating through them as opposed to beating myself down. So the discipline is very important. If you look at any great individual, consistency and discipline are the main ingredients of making them exceptional people.
Right.
I always tell myself, I want to be exceptional, not the norm.
Right.
Then I have to do what normal people don't do.
Yeah, because anybody could be a follower,
Yes.
and we have to learn how to be the change,
Yes.
make the difference. So I know you play music and you're doing the classes. Tell our listeners, where can they find you, and if they need you to come out and entertain them with all this beautiful music in your bands, how can they reach you, Ishmael?
Well, you can reach me on Facebook, Ismail Douglas, Ismail, Douglas, Douglas. and Define Seeker on Instagram. And my number is 216-926-5908.
You want to give that number again to them?
Yeah, 216-926-5908.
Awesome. And so where will you be playing next?
Well, we have with Global Connections, I have an event coming up at Loganberry Bookstore in Larchmere,
Okay.
and that's December 7th.
Alrighty.
So you will hear world music. Come be prepared to dance, right? So that music is like that. Now, with Amani Strings, you can follow me on Instagram with Amani Strings, and we post our upcoming events.
Okay, awesome. And let's talk about the Tai Chi classes.
Yeah, it's on Mondays at Unbar Cafe on Larchmere.
Yes.
I have Tai Chi class from 6 to 7 p.m. And it's a very interesting class. So just let me tell you, on Monday when we were there, we were doing the class.
Right.
And some of the people that work in Unbar, they came in the room. They said, "Ooh, it's hot in here." I said, "That's the chi." Right? They said, "Yeah, it's very." Because it helps you to relax. And one gentleman said, "Oh, it's so relaxing in here." I said that's what one of the objectives of Tai Chi is, to create a very relaxing environment. And that's why the movements are done very slowly, so that you can be very relaxed and pay attention to your breathing while you're moving.
Yes.
So we connect the breathing and movements together.
Yes. And it's very good for all parts of your body.
Mm-hmm.
I come and, sometimes my pinched nerve in my back flares up. And you can actually do it in the chair.
Yes.
Because Ishmael has helped me.
Yes.
And I know how to do
Yes.
know how to do some of those moves. So I will be returning back on Monday night from 6 to 7 at the Unbar Cafe on Larchmere. And the next event will be in December.
Yes, December 7th. That's
December
Loganberry.
7th at Loganberry.
Yes, it's the 30th anniversary.
30th anniversary for Loganberry. So please come on out and hear some great music, get educated, and learn about the different instruments that comes from all the different parts of the world.
Right. You will get an education as well. And you can travel the world for free without a plane ticket.
All right. Now, you can't get it no better than that. So that's what's going on. So I will ask that you be the change today. I'm Lady D, your host, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Join us every Thursday, and you too can be a guest straight from KAZ Radio Podcast Studio.